Mexico's presidential election will take place on July 1st, and the frontrunner is a man by the name of Enrique Peña Nieto. He's with the Institutional Revolutionary Party, and that party actually ran Mexico for 71 years and was voted out of office in 2000. And people are questioning whether or not it's a good move to go back to the PRI party because they were deemed authoritarian, and there were some questions coming up about that. However, Enrique Peña Nieto says that he is going to focus on taking the military out of this war on drugs and handling it differently compared to how Calderón has handled it, right? But what's really interesting about this is how senior officials in the Obama administration are taking this news. Because one senior official says that this is a soundbite he's using for obvious political purposes. And then he goes on to say, what we basically get is that he fully appreciates and understands that if, when he wins, he's going to keep working with us.
So the people who are polling in the top three are all saying, hey, listen, we care more about the violence in Mexico than we do about, making sure we get all the top drug gangs and shut them down, war on drugs, et cetera. Now, if you're a citizen of Mexico, how much sense does that make? It makes 1,000,000% sense. And a lot of people in the New York Times article are quoted as saying, very logically so, look, if these drugs wind up in the U.S., okay, I guess that's their problem, right? What we care about is violence in our own communities. So is this a local, issue that the people running for president should cater to? Of course it is, right? In fact, it's the most important issue. Over 50,000 people have been killed since Calderón's idiotic war on drugs that he amped up along with the Bush administration and then later the Obama administration. So now what's disturbing is the Obama administration saying, oh, that's just politics. Don't worry. Whoever wins, especially this guy, he's in our back pocket anyway. Like all politicians in all countries, we don't really mean what we say. We're going to tell the people one thing so we can get their votes and then do whatever gets us the money anyway.
These politicians in Mexico right now, the ones that are running for president, are not suggesting any kind of policy that would legalize drugs to get rid of the cartels. But, I mean, that's the number one thing you need to do if you want to take power away from the cartels. But even if they were, right, even if they wanted to tone down this war on drugs in Mexico and they wanted to legalize drugs, it still wouldn't be enough. The real problem when it comes to these cartels is the United States, because the United States buys the drugs. That's why these cartels are so powerful. That's why they have the money that they do. They get their weapons from the United States. I mean, there are so many elements of power given to the cartels, and it's all from the U.S. It's not from Mexico. So we have to legalize drugs here in this country. And is that going to happen anytime soon? Hell no. And
I read a great article about how the money from the drug trade doesn't actually stay in places like Mexico or Colombia, back when Colombia was so ascendant in the drug trade. Now it's still a part of it, a big part of it. Most of the money, great majority of the money, winds up in the U.S. anyway, right? So your local economy doesn't get helped. You've got tremendous violence on the ground. And by the way, drug consumption is also up in Mexico. So what happened? The war on drugs is a failure in every conceivable way, especially in Mexico. So of course, all the leading people in the Mexican elections should be saying that they're going to stop this nonsense war on drugs, or at least the emphasis on it. In fact, they should all be for legalization because it's killing, literally, it's killing their people. Now, I hope to God that they actually mean it, and it isn't some political trick, as the Obama administration is at least hinting that it is.